I'm gonna get situated. So, like I said, all this stuff will be edited out.
No worries.
Go to the bathroom. We're good, brother.
About how long do you want to go for?
Whatever you're comfortable.
Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Frank with for the Old Breed, and today's guest is a friend of mine. His name is Brent Hamilton. He's in the Jiu-Jitsu community, and he happens to be an army guy. So basically, I want Brent to tell his story, and hey, thanks for coming in, Brent. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. We're trying to do something positive for all you savages out there, for all you young men. I just want Brent Hamilton to basically tell his story. So yeah, just go ahead.
How's it going, Frank? Thanks for having me. My name is Brent Hamilton. I'm a black belt under Professor Chip Coffey, and the owner of Rolling Panda Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Dallas, Georgia. We're an affiliate of Team Roberto Travin. So we definitely get trained with some champions all the time. I've been around jiu-jitsu off and on, basically since 1996 was the first time I tried jiu-jitsu. When I was growing up, I wrestled most of my life. I wrestled through grade school, middle school, high school. Wrestled. I had a very good wrestling career. It started off real rough.
Yeah.
Went out there. My first 2 years, I think I won my very first match, and then I didn't win another match until my third year wrestling. My dad was trying to talk me into like t-ball and soccer and stuff like that. But no, I'm gonna stick to this. I can do it. I can do this stuff. And something, it just clicked. And then the third year, I went 50-2. It was just something clicked, and I just decided I was ready to start winning, and it happened. So continued on into high school and stuff like that, and had a friend who it was right after the UFC started, and seeing some of the stuff, and I had a friend who was a baseball player, and he did some wrestling stuff with me, and he was about 2 years younger than me. And I started hearing all this stuff about how he's doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now, and he just got his blue belt. And they call him Mr. Kevin there at the school. He's a blue belt.
Yeah.
And no one's ever heard of a blue. I had no idea what a blue belt was.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, he's a blue belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Early on.
Yeah,
early.
This is the late 90s or mid 90s, and it was like 94, 95. And this guy's a blue belt Jiu-Jitsu. Man, that's unheard of. So. I was like, oh, that's cool, and maybe see what's going on with it. And get to, I had a devastating car accident my senior year in high school, and lost all of my the opportunities to wrestle at a higher level. They told me I'd never lift my arm over my head again. I blew my shoulder out, broke my ribs, broke my arm. They had to tie my shoulder together.
Jesus, would you get like T-bone or something?
I was driving a little too fast in the rain, and I had a fast car, and I was a young dumb kid.
Yeah.
Did the wrong thing.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, pretty much. Luckily, there wasn't any alcohol involved, but I was on my way to the auto parts store, messing around in a hot rod, and of course, a 17-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, and wrapped around a tree.
Yeah.
And spent about a week in the hospital, and then a long time rehabbing. It was the middle of my senior year of the wrestling season, so I was undefeated at the time of the season. Stuff started going south. My life started getting. I was real depressed. And I got pissed off. I got mad. And they told me I can't lift my arm over my head again. I'm going to do it. The next year, I was wrestling at a small college, a local community college. I was wrestling for their team. But being the dumb kid that all of us sometimes fall into that path, I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't going to classes. I wasn't doing my work. I wasn't doing stuff I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Drinking a little bit too much underage. And
typical teenager stuff.
Yeah, I'm past the statute of limitations, so I can admit underage drinking. But it's so I ended up not being eligible to wrestle towards the end of the year. Started looking around, and at one point I had taken the ASVAB and looked at the Air Force, but because of that car accident, I had some nerve damage in my ear because my head went through the window, and the Air Force turned me down, and I pretty much maxed my ASVAB. So they told me, they were real excited when they saw my scores, but then I got to my physical, and they were like, oh well.
What'd you get, like a 110, right? Isn't that max or what?
This was back in the early 90s. So it was somewhere in the
it was high.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I qualified for every job, any single job that I wanted. There's like you do whatever you want. So
smart guy here. Huh?
All the line scores were 120 and above. So the overall ASVAB score, I'm not sure how that works.
Okay.
But it's a long time ago.
So all right. So basically, you went to what, an Army recruiter?
So when I was wrestling in college, I went over and I went over to see my buddy, Mr. Kevin.
Yeah.
And I tried out jiu-jitsu, and it was really cool. It was being a wrestler going on my back like it's comfortable in jiu-jitsu. It was just kind of weird. It's weird, but I get it. I can work on top and figure that out. And the gi, it's hot. But yeah, who can figure this stuff out?
Yeah.
But then they told me how much it cost. I'm like, I'm a broke college kid. I can't pay that.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I got exposed to it, tried a couple classes, and then I joined the Army. I decided when I failed out of college and wasn't doing the right things, I went down to the recruiter, walked in the Army recruiter, said, here's the story. Here's my ASVAB score. Here's what happened with the physical. What can you do for me? And they're just like, we can do whatever you want. We'll give you a waiver for that.
Yeah. Typical Army, yeah.
So I really knew nothing about the military. I dated a girl in school who her father was involved in the military somehow. So I went and talked to him, and I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I'm doing. I went to the Army recruiter, and turns out he was in the Army. So he was a reservist. And so he's like, well, here's my card. Have the guy at MAPS email me your job sheet. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't email. It was way back. This fax me your job sheet.
Yeah. What year was this?
97.
Okay.
So I joined in 97.
Okay.
So he's like, have him fax me your job sheet, and I'll help figure something out for you. So I get to MEPS and go through the process and give the card to the guy. This master sergeant gets all nervous and, all right, no problem. And he faxes off the job sheet and comes back with my job just circled, biggest crap on the paper. It came back in a quick. I was a satellite communications operator maintainer when I came. It was a 31 Sierra at the time, changed over to 25 Sierra.
25 Sierra, okay.
Yeah, so Signal Corps was at the 31 series, and the MPs were fighting them for it, and they took the 31 series, and now it's the 25 series.
So what did you go? Did you go to Jackson?
I went to Fort Leonard.
Leonard, and where's that at?
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, Lost in the Woods, Missouri.
Okay. And how was that?
It was. I mean, I traveled a lot wrestling and stuff like that, so it was just another. This guy Craig, the guy who picked the job for me, he told me before I left, he's like, the military is a game. These schools you go to are all a game. They go through the same cycles.
A
lot better than you. Try to beat the game. Play the game. You want them to look at the thing when you graduate and go, I had a Hamilton? Who the hell is Hamilton?
Yes, exactly.
Never volunteer for something, but stand out academically. Okay, I can do that. So he gives me this coin before I left. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Oh, cool. So I put it in my pocket. And so I get to basic training, going through and learning all the rank structures. And I found out what the MG in front of his name on his card meant. He was the Major General. So he was a 2-star.
Wow.
That's who picked my job for me.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool. When a couple years later, I was an instructor at Fort Gordon. He was the deputy commander of the reserves at McPherson in Atlanta. So I went out at Christmas time and hung out with him. He was playing on the floor with my kid, and my wife and his wife were chatting and stuff like that. And we remained friends. I'm still friends with the girl. The parents I still talk to. But it's just I had not many people have a 2-star general pick their job.
No, that's totally cool. Now, were you still training while all this is going on? Or
through basic and AIT, basic there was really no opportunity to train. AIT, it was a 52-month AIT, so we were there for a year. I'm sorry, 52-week. Sorry.
Okay, well, I mean that's still long.
52 months, so yeah, that's way too long. 52 weeks. So I was there for a year.
Still long, yeah.
I was in AIT for a year, and there was not too many Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms around in Georgia back then. So of course, guys get around and wrestle and play around and stuff like that, and I'd always be in the middle of all that wrestling and messing around in the field and doing the Army and the guy stuff. So we're fighting, and there was very, very few people could ever really control me or take me down or win in that stuff. So Matt Larson developed the modern Army combative program.
Yes.
So he was a Jacare black belt from Alliance, and he was at the infantry school down in Fort Benning, and he developed the modern Army combative program, which is very much jiu-jitsu based.
Yes.
And I was in heaven. I could do this stuff.
Yeah.
So started out messing around with the combative stuff and doing a lot of no-gi. We had little groups and little clubs that met up and threw some mats around and did a lot of no-gi stuff because no one really knew anything about gis. The internet wasn't around as how it is now. There wasn't videos and stuff like that. Every now and then someone would get a hold of a cassette tape and put it in and watch it, or VHS, whatever you call it. Put it in and watch it, learn some stuff. But for the most part, it was self-discovery.
So I'm assuming you were watching those. Remember the Gracie tapes?
Yes, the ones you couldn't barely understand them. It was grainy and
Yeah,
so
I remember that. So it's funny you said that because I remember, and I joined. I'm from kind of like the 9/11 generation, so I joined in like 2006, and I kind of went through the same thing with you of trying to get a waiver to get in because I have a permanent pin in my hand. But they were just getting into Army combatives, And I was kind of like, yo, it's funny you said that because I knew Jacare, and when he told me the price, I was like, I just can't afford this, man. I just don't have that kind of money. So, but I did it in the Army, and so I'm sorry. So go ahead. So you continue to train as you're in the Army, and so how are you progressing as far as like belts? How are you doing that?
So I never put a gi on or anything like that until it wasn't until 2011 when I finally put a gi on. So getting there though, I did a lot of no gi. I was going when I was stationed in Korea. There was an MMA team on the base that competed a lot and did the combatives tournaments and also did some off base stuff. And I did several Korea tournaments there. Went out and did no gi. The thing about Korea is you get judo black belts that enter jiu-jitsu tournaments in the gi at white belt because they're jiu-jitsu white belts. So it's all about the honor, so they have no problem with the sandbagging. But, a judo guy and a Greco-Roman wrestler in no gi, they balance out a little bit. So I had a good run in no gi in Korea. It was fun winning some of those tournaments, some of the bigger guys, and having fun with that. But it was a lot of training. We trained a lot. There was a purple belt and Henry Jung, who was from Korea. He lived in Korea. He was Korean American. He was from Chicago, but he worked out there for a financial company. He had access to the base. He was one of the first heavyweight champions in Korea for MMA. And he'd come on base and he trained with us. And he trained under one of the first legitimate black belts out in Korea, John Frankel. So he'd come on base and work with us a lot. And he'd always tell me, he's like, you're easily a blue belt. You could put one on and nobody would really know. But I would know. So I would know, and it wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah, you wanted to earn it.
Yeah, so I wanted someone for real to put it on me. And but I only did no gi. So I took a special assignment after. Was it after Korea? No, it was after Iraq. After Iraq, I took a special assignment called. It was Training with Industry, where I came here to Atlanta and I worked for a civilian company for a year. I was still in the Army. And I was out in Paulding County, where I'm at now, and there was a gym there called Toe to Toe Gym, Toe to Toe Fitness. Walked in there and signed up, and it was Chad Walton, who's a chip coffee black belt. They were part of Team Rota Travin, and he walked in there. I trained for a couple weeks, and they're saying, "You're not a white belt." I've actually been rolling for about 10 years. So I did a lot of no-gi. And so I'd signed up for a Naga that next weekend. And that Friday before the Naga, they walk in and put a blue belt around my waist. And I was like, oh crap, stuff just got real. So
no, but I'm kind of in the same boat. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 years. I just got my blue belt, and I wanted to do the same thing. I was like, I just learned it from one school, so I just got my blue belt like a couple of months ago. But it was the same thing. I mean, I kind of hid in basic training because I just didn't want to get hurt. I was the oldest guy there. Because I enlisted when I was 32, and I was just kicking everybody's ass. And I always found out that, because I'm the same as you too, I was a wrestler, but I've always found out that I think wrestlers seem to like transition right into it. What do you think?
So it depends. So you have the real good wrestlers who I've seen the ones that are the state champions that come in, they can't handle they get beat. You're going to get beat in jiu-jitsu. If you're not humble enough to understand that and accept that, go from being the best, the top dog, to hey, these guys are going to beat me no matter what, no matter how good of a wrestler I was. Some old purple belt down the road is going to whip my tail. So the ones that can handle that are humble, and they've transitioned into jiu-jitsu really well, because I preach this all the time. I'm the head instructor at my school, and I preach about learning from your get out of your comfort zone in class. I waited till I was a high purple belt, even maybe a brown belt, to even learn a guard. It's up until the tournament before this, the pandemic, the coronavirus one, the first time I've ever been taken down in a tournament. So my career competing, I never got took down. I wasn't very well rounded. But for the freak chance someone takes me down, I didn't know what to do on my back. So, in class is the best place. You put yourself in that uncomfortable position, because it doesn't matter what happens in class. It doesn't matter what happens in training. You go out there.
So you're saying you do prefer fighting on the mat?
Yes, 100%. If I'm tired, if I'm in competition mode, for like if I'm doing competition training, stuff like that, I'm going to focus on being on top. That's where I plan on being in a match. if I don't want to, if I'm tired and being lazy in class,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on top just to rest a little bit, and then I'll roll myself back over to the bottom when I catch my breath and stuff like that. But I can easily control the top position just from so many years of wrestling and so many years of being jiu-jitsu of being on top. It's easy control for me.
No, and you know, I talk to Elijah about this all the time. It's like you have to develop your own jiu-jitsu, and if that's just your style. I'm kind of old man jiu-jitsu. I'm a smaller guy, so I have to play on my back. But yeah, I mean, I think you kind of just fit your jiu-jitsu to the frame that you have. I'm sure you look like really, really strong. Like you'd be really strong on the top.
I've seen both sides of it. I've seen guys that completely abandon their wrestling background and didn't want to dive headfirst into jiu-jitsu and do nothing, nothing but pull guard and do that stuff. But I knew a black belt when I was in Augusta. He's from he was training down there. He's about 6'4", 245, 250 pound fireman, real good shape guy, old wrestler. And he said, like, well, I started out and I was using my wrestling and I thought it was actually cheating. I thought it wasn't right. I needed to actually focus on jiu-jitsu, so I abandoned it. And he's like, my professor yelled at me. He said, you need to integrate jiu-jitsu into your wrestling style. You have a wrestling base. Integrate jiu-jitsu into it. And that made sense to me. I've learned stuff, a lot of things the hard way from being yelled at by black belts. When I was a blue belt here, the first time when I was stationed in Atlanta, I went to the very first tribe and team training I went to. Rolling with one of his black belts is about 170 pounds. I was about 240 at the time. And I'm on top and I'm on my knees and I'm not putting pressure on him. He's like, stop. What are you doing? I'm saying, I'm controlling the top position. No, you're not. Why don't you put your weight on me? I don't want to hurt you, professor. It's not your job to not hurt me. I'm a damn black belt in jiu-jitsu. It's my job to stop you.
Exactly.
You're not flexible. You're not fast. You weren't given those traits that I was given. Yeah. You were given size and strength and pressure. You can't tell me to not be fast. I'm not going to tell you to not be heavy.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. That's the philosophy I go on. You utilize the attributes you were given because you can't tell someone else not to utilize their attributes. Like Elijah. Yeah. I'm not going to tell him not to be flexible or composed when I have his legs tied behind his head. I can't tell him not to do that. It's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, he's an absolute savage. I don't even like sparring against Elijah because I just don't want to waste his time. Really, and that's how I feel about it.
He's always fun. He's always game to roll with anyone. He surprises people. I was walking one day in competition training. I was walking down the wall, and this 300-pound man comes flying sideways at me and hits me about mid-thigh. The entire body of this 300-pound man, Elijah just swept him. That's how he hit me. He threw this guy at me.
Yeah. So, it's ridiculous. But what I was gonna say, so you know why I brought you on the show is, so tell us about when did I rap?
So the first time was 2009, and then I was back. The last time was 2010. I left about 3 days after my daughter was born. They let me stay back for the main body left about a week and a half ahead of me. They let me wait until my daughter was born, and then they called me up. Hey, next thing smoking, you're gone. So that was the last time I went to Iraq. I did Afghanistan in 2006 and 7.
Yeah.
So it was got to see both of those war zones a little bit. I landed in Egypt on September 11th when the terrorist attacks happened. I was there for an exercise, and some of the mission changed, of course, when that happened. So we were. It was a very stressful situation. I'd already been overseas a few times to Korea and to Kuwait, but landing in Egypt, where they said most of the hijackers were from, I was actually in Alexandria, Egypt. On September 11th, we get off the plane, and of course, I ran communication. There was a signal. I was a signal staff sergeant then. I was doing kind of what they called special circuits data package stuff. So they looked at our team. It was like, hey, we need to get our internet and SIPRNet up, our NIPRNet and SIPRNet up. Our normal internet and the classified internet. We need that up now because we didn't know what's going on. And they give this pitch about everything that's going on. Like, man, don't they usually say exercise before they put out this stuff and these things to start? And then there's like everyone from the DC area and everyone from the New York area come over here. We got some sat phones, which call your family, let them know you're alive. This stuff's real. This is really going on. And we got our SATCOM up and we got our stuff up, and we see the CNN and the planes hit the towers. And just the pucker factor was high. And we had it was a signal battalion size unit and a squad of MPs, and we had enough magazines for just the security shift to have magazines to have ammo. So the people that were on shift in security, rooftops and things like that, that was all the magazines we had for pulling our security.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, man. I think for everybody, well, I mean, who would have thought? Like, even you still think about it today, you're like, wow, I can't believe that really actually happened.
And everyone talks about, oh yeah, it was at work, it was
yeah. I think
woke
everybody
up
remembers that.
and so traffic was horrible. Yeah, I was landing in Egypt
Yeah.
with the army on an army plane. I was like,
I was just getting out of the shower, man. I was actually getting ready to go to my shop. I just opened up a new shop, and I was like, what the hell's going on around here? But what part of Iraq were you in?
I did some extra stuff while I was in Iraq, but spent most of the time on Victory Base. But I also went around and built out some SATCOM PTC suites for the Iraqi army. Did some troubleshooting on some of their stuff for them locally, and going out to other locations for both our army and the Iraqi army, building and doing some troubleshooting and some things. I didn't take my mentor's advice and for stuff, so I was going out to bases. We also did the drawdown planning for the SATCOM, all the SATCOM in Iraq. Yeah. So we were planning for the pullout of Iraq. So I had to go do assessments at a bunch of sites and see what the capabilities were and things like that. So,
but Victory was the biggest. Was it the biggest fob in Iraq?
Victory Base Complex. It was about 3 or 4 bases combined, and it had the airport and all that stuff there in Baghdad. So it was a huge base.
Listen, I can see why you were volunteering. We spent a lot of time in like different COPs in Afghanistan, but we were at FOB at Bagram, and man, it was huge. I mean, they had Pilates class.
Yeah, I was on Bagram. I was with the 82nd Combat Aviation Brigade. Deployed out there with the S6. I got picked up for warrant officer while I was in Afghanistan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got picked up for sergeant first class and warrant officer in the same month. So the battalion or brigade commander and sergeant major come by and congratulations, you got selected for sergeant first class. Oh, cool, awesome. Hopefully, the secrets number comes up. And like a week later, they come back, hey, congratulations, you got selected for warrant officer also. Which one are you gonna do? Like, well, if my secrets number comes up quick enough, I'll do both.
Yeah. So, but how does that work, man? Because I know obviously we've seen warrant officers. We have a lot of respect for them because they're guys on the. I mean, this guy's on the enlisted side. Yeah. So how did that work? Did you go back home? You had to go to school or something, right?
I had to wait for, of course, a class date, and then being in a deployed unit, you're kind of fenced, so they did some things, and then they came up with a class date. Then my command allowed me to leave early, so I left Afghanistan a little bit early and went to my warrant officer class date. Went to warrant officer course down in Fort Rucker, Alabama, and then went to the basic course for my MOS for my job as a warrant officer at Fort Gordon, Georgia. And they immediately shipped me off to Korea again for another couple of years. So
that's with second Infantry Division.
Actually, I was with First Signal Brigade in Seoul. So I was at the brigade level there. It was my 3rd trip to Korea, and all the times I was in First Signal Brigade, I was doing SATCOM farther down south.
I got you.
So I spent this time because I knew all of the SATCOM mission for the peninsula and things like that. That was a great asset to have up at the brigade headquarters.
So you were leaving the wire all the time then?
Yes. So it was being a W1 in a brigade headquarters. I was definitely a little bit on the totem pole, but I had the tribal knowledge of being there so many times and knowing the mission and knowing where all the sites were. I didn't need all their little crazy strip maps and stuff. I could drive to anywhere in Korea and the sites that we had because I have that weird memory, and every time I drive somewhere, I can drive back there. So,
yeah, ground truth. You know what's going on. You know the ins and outs. I mean,
trying to tell people, you need to turn at this gas station that you can't read the sign on, but I know it's this gas station right here. And it's like, I'll just drive you. Let's go.
Yeah. So how was it like going from enlisted to being a warrant officer? You having people salute you? Isn't that kind of weird?
That was the most frustrating thing, is having to salute. It was great as far as not being messed with. I was allowed to do my job and not bothered. And of course, they always say the warrant officers are their only enemy is the sergeant major.
Yeah.
The sergeant major's going to walk around and it's, Chief, your boots are messed up. Chief, you get your hand in your pocket. Chief, do this. And you can tell them to go F off, but their battle buddy is your boss. So you really pretty much do what the sergeant major says. Yes, sergeant major, no problem. Yes, sergeant major.
Yeah, no, I don't, obviously, I didn't go as high in the ranks as you did. I went as far as E6, but I felt like once I got my 6, people just left me alone. I could just do what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
So I thought I was in TRADOC a lot as an instructor, as a staff sergeant. So in TRADOC, you're pretty much a PV6. Unless you're a senior E8 in a TRADOC environment, you're just another one of the I was standing next to a master sergeant one day digging mud out of a ditch across the schoolhouse.
That's too close to the flagpole, man.
Yeah, so
too close.
It's just you're pretty much nothing. When I did get sergeant first class, I was like, man, this is cool. I was at Fort Bragg in 82nd Airborne, sergeant first class in 82nd. You're up there. You don't have to. You in process separately than all the other soldiers do. You don't go to that big thing. You get marked everywhere. Hey, here's your stuff. Go do your process. Go do your out process. Cool. Have fun. But when I pinned warrant officer, you walk into a place and you automatically you have that mystique of what's going on. Even if you're a W1, some of the guys that know warrant officer, that's chief. That's chief. I'm not chief yet. I'm not CW2. I'm not chief. I'm just Mr. Hamilton. I'm W1. Oh, you're chief. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, respect. So, it's a respect thing,
And it's something that me personally, I pride myself on making sure that I am living up to that standard. So no matter where I go, I'm trying to make sure I'm the expert on the systems.
Yeah.
And so it's just it was fun.
The burdens of leadership, right?
Of course, yeah.
So tell us. So I think we talked about this offline. Did you get blown up at all, or no?
So there was there was a couple times when there was some situations where there was incoming and stuff blowing up around and causing some some head injuries and some shake. I have to take medication a lot right now. Most of probably for a while because of some head stuff, migraines and hearing loss and things like that. Yeah, all that stuff. The VA rated me at 100% disabled, which I don't feel 100% disabled. I don't feel like I'm a handicapped person, but there's a lot of stuff that builds up, and part of it is the PTSD portion of it and stuff as well. And a lot of people go to counseling and things like that, and that's great for them. It's just not my thing. I tried, and I get my my relief from all the stuff and all the demons, whatever, from jiu-jitsu. It's something that I've done all my life. That competition, that brotherhood, that bonding, being with people and out there working hard and sweating and trusting them and being part of your family. It's very much like being in the military, being a part of a good unit where you trust your team. You're out there, everything you're doing.
It's all based on a team.
Yeah, and in essence, in jiu-jitsu, when you tap, you are admitting that you could have either just killed me or injured me or whatever, but I trust that you'll stop when I tap. And it's the same trust you have.
You said it perfectly, Brent. You said it perfectly. I think the correlation between the military and jiu-jitsu, I think that's what we miss once we get out and we feel like we don't fit in, and then we do jiu-jitsu, and it's almost like you get that brotherhood back.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you think?
Because you have people that are going through the same thing, the same type of suck that you're going through. Much like the military, you all a good unit going out somewhere, deploying, doing whatever you got to do. You're embracing the suck, and you're out there doing it with your teammates, and you trust that they're going to support you and have your back, and they trust that you're going to have their back. And it's the same concept of going out there and going through a hard training in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, everyone's going through the same suck. It's hot, it's sweaty. We're choking and trying to kill each other, but we're trusting that I'm gonna stop. Yeah, cool. And you have that bond with people that people just don't understand.
The humility, I think the humility is there too, because being in the Army, I mean, I guess we're just used to getting yelled at. It's it's like okay, Roger, whoever. So I think it's part of. I think humility plays such a big role. I think if you're the right kind of leader in the military, and then once you do jiu-jitsu, if somebody chokes you out, it's like, okay, I learned, and it puts you in your place.
It's even furthermore for me because I grew up wrestling. I was always on a team of guys that are going through the same suck as I was. It's like you get out there and hey, you run before practice, you get out, you get beat up in practice, you do all this stuff, and you go and hang out and have fun afterwards. And
and it toughens you up mentally, man.
You know how to deal with that adversity, and the same adversities you have downrange, same adversities you have when you come back and you're not fitting in the same way. It just gives you an outlet for dealing with that stuff. Even with all this pandemic and stuff going on, I can't not train. if I don't train, my wife looks at me and is like, you need to do something. You need to get out of the house. You need
Yeah.
to go somewhere. So luckily, I have two kids, an 18-year-old and I'm sorry, 19-year-old now, and a 16-year-old. That I grab them. And, hey, let's go to the gym. Let's roll.
Yeah.
And it's just go out there and get some aggression out. Maybe some other people might show up every now and then and get some rolling in, but we're doing, of course, the social distancing. But the people in my house and in my gym, we're going to do it.
No, listen, I totally felt that, man, not being able to roll, because I was doing it now for like 7 months straight, and then we just stopped, and I definitely feel like I get angrier, quicker, and I think what I want to promote, man, is, I think a lot of people think that veterans, or especially combat veterans, that you should feel sorry for us, and it's like, we went to war, we came back, and that's how I felt. I just felt like I didn't fit in anywhere, and I was prone to anger issues because and I'm sure you can maybe relate, man. And I think it's kind of like in the military. If you learn anything about the Army, it's all based on being a team player, and if you're not a team player, you just don't work, and nobody wants to be around you.
And coming back to working in the military for so long with people that have some pride in what they do, and they have standards, and they live by the standards, and of course, in every group, there's going to be people who don't meet the standards. But that's handled.
Yes.
But coming out, then now I take a civilian job and seeing people who like, I don't really feel like doing that. I don't know. That's not really my job. What do you mean that's not your job? It needs to happen.
Yeah.
Let's get this done. Oh, that's not what I get paid to do. No, we do it. And the boss kept calling me up and like, hey, we need you to go ahead and take over this. No problem. Hey, we need you to take care of this. No problem. And then about 6 months in, he's like, how come you always say no problem when I ask you to do stuff? I throw more stuff on your plate. The other guys ask them to do one extra sheet of paper, and they're crying and complaining and stuff like that. I'm like, well, it's perspective. I'm sleeping in my own bed at night.
Yeah.
Nothing blowing up around me.
Exactly.
Nothing getting shot over walls. No alarms going off. I mean, I'm good. You're not going to stress me out with this junk.
Exactly. I think that's what's so hard, Brent. It's trying to get civilians to convey that same mentality, and I feel like I get frustrated about it all the time because I feel like, that's how it was. I mean, we spent time in the field all the time. Like, that's all we did. So if I come home, I think life is easy. Like, I don't really have any problems. So when I hear people bitch and complain, you kind of lose it.
And that's some of the reason why veterans may be perceived as negative or something like that, because they're not stressing over the same simple BS that other people are stressing over.
Exactly.
And some people don't know how to express it the right way or explain it the right way, so they just come off as, oh, you guys are a bunch of pussies. Okay.
Yes.
Of course, we all want to say that, but sometimes we have to be a little bit more eloquent in the way we speak and say the things in a more political way.
That's
so
very
people don't
hard.
think at all. Yeah, I know it's real hard, but we don't want to give the bad name to all veterans. So some people will assume things and group us all together, but it's literally, we all have the same thoughts and we all have the same thing as the people. Some people don't have the same work. Of course, there are great people that never serve that still do a lot of great work.
Definitely.
But it's, as I always say, as a leader, you spend 90% of your time dealing with 10% of your people that are the problems, and then the veterans, that 10% of the people that are the problem, it just puts them over the edge. They're mad.
Yeah. Well, and I just remember even being in a platoon of guys, if there was one guy that was troublesome or it became an issue, it's like nobody wanted to be around that guy.
Yeah, and it's tough because it takes away from your overall effectiveness. Your ability to do your mission, your job, because that one guy doesn't want to pull their weight. And it's just like you have ways of motivating that you can't do that in the civilian world.
Yeah. So I'm trying to put this out, Brent, because I want people maybe to have a better understanding of, I guess, for the veteran community and for people that work with veterans, because there's a lot of jerks out there, but there's a lot of us. Listen, we're used to working under like high pressure situations, so we often, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I often just get pissed off at, especially now. I think people are becoming softer and softer. I mean, what do you think about that?
So I see both sides of it. I see, of course, as a gym owner and seeing people come in and things like that, you see, why are you complaining because it's hot? Why are you complaining because we have to do some work? Have you never done work in your life? But I also see the side of it as that society is changing, and it's not necessarily for the better. It's just changing, and people are accepting that that philosophy of I don't want to work hard, and that bothers me. Because,
Just no ownership, right?
Yeah,
There's no ownership.
I mean, I'm even dealing with that with one of my own sons right now. He was furloughed because of all this stuff, and he's kind of content right now with taking his unemployment, and that bothered that hurts me in my soul.
Yes.
Because I'm always taught to you work for what you get.
Yes.
You work for anything you need.
Yes.
When I was an instructor at Fort Gordon, I was a young staff sergeant, and I was about to have my second child, and we were broke. I went down and delivered pizzas at night. I had a fixed schedule for work, so I was delivering pizzas for Domino's to make some money because I had another kid on the way.
Wow.
I needed some money. You find the hustle. You go out and do what you need to do. And I don't believe in the whole. My unemployment checks as much or more than what I was making now because the bonus they gave that. That's not how I was raised, and I know my son wasn't raised that way, but it's just he's got a whole group of friends that all fell into that same group. It's tough for him to try and be different. So that's the hard part is society's pushed that way, and the ones that were raised the right way, if they have too many influences of friends that are the wrong way, it's tough for them to stand out and do what I think is the right thing.
Yeah, no, and I find even when you go to some schools, I mean, there's schools that I've been to where kids forget the bow or they're walking with socks. It's like, discipline is supposed to, you have discipline because if you enforce it, you do it every single time. That's why it's called discipline. You don't do it when you want to do it. You do it all the time.
And I found that I used to teach a lot of kids classes, and now I'm getting back into it and teaching some more. But the kids love the discipline. They love the structure. They love the discipline. They love being yelled at. If they do something that's you let them know. You correct them. Adults, they get their sensitive little feelings hurt sometimes if you raise their voice or something.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Why well, the rules have always been the rules.
Yes.
You were told, you were reminded, and now you're going to be reinforced.
Yes, and that's the reason why that is a reason why you bow in and you bow out. It's just respect. It's just basic things that you're going to use in your life. You can't half-ass discipline. That's why I always tell Elijah, it's 100% of the time. It's almost like, I think Joe Rogan was talking about this, when you go to the grocery store and you see all the grocery carts everywhere. Mm-hmm. It takes you 2 minutes to take your cart and put it where it's supposed to go. Why do people not do that? That drives me insane.
My wife used to always get mad at me because even when I was a soldier, walking through the airport and seeing soldiers in uniform with headphones on, listening to music, I'd stop them and I'd correct them. Why do you do that? Why do you waste your time and do that?
Yeah.
Well, because I had a leader one time that told me, if you pass somebody that is not meeting the standard, you just set a new standard.
Exactly.
If you pass that up and don't get the correction, that is the new standard.
Exactly.
So my life has always been the standard bearer. I am the standard bearer.
Man, I remember getting back from my first tour to Afghanistan, and these guys had just graduated from Benning, and there was a guy walking with a beret on. I'm like, dude, you just graduated from Fort Benning, and you're wearing a beret in the airport, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. The kids, they're trying to go flex and look cool and all that and do all that stuff, but it's not right. Do the right thing. You'll get the stuff you're going to get. I saw kids put on medals and stuff before they. Oh yeah, when'd you graduate? No, I haven't yet. No, you can't wear that medal. You can't do that. But I was going home and I wanted to look. I don't care.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, so it's disrespectful to the people that have gone through the process. Just like in Jiu-Jitsu, you hear all this stuff about people that show up with and all of a sudden they got this belt on. Mm-hmm. And as my buddy told me, I could show up with some. If I went to a gi place, I could show up with a blue belt. No one ever questioned it.
Yeah.
But it's disrespectful to the people who earned it. I didn't earn it by somebody putting it on me.
Of course.
I wanted to do the right thing and be that standard bearer.
Exactly. So, all right. So let's pivot into, like I said, I wanted to talk about, obviously we want to promote this beautiful sport that we call Jiu-Jitsu. And we want to promote it specially. That's why I have you on today, especially to the veteran community, for all the guys that are suffering from PTSD, that are maybe drinking or whatever you're doing. how can we do that, Brent? How can we spread the message?
Just getting the word out. There's organizations out there that really do help a lot. We Defy Foundation is a great one.
You told me about We Defy.
I'm actually working on becoming. I tried to first become a certified gym under We Defy, but they have only so many in the region, so I'm going to become an ambassador for We Defy. But I have one of the guys that trains my gym. He's a combat disabled, 100% disabled veteran from the Marines. He was had some very severe head injuries. He's got some very bad memory problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When he got to my gym, it was he was a mess. He didn't sleep. He didn't do a lot of things. He wasn't social. He'd just sit there and he'd twitch and things like that. He's been training with us since November, December timeframe, and he's a great guy. He comes out every class that he's there all the time. He works hard. He tells me he sleeps at night now, and he loves it. He uses jiu-jitsu. He says it's better than any therapy. He's off drugs that he was on. He doesn't drink any of that stuff. He's not trying to do anything to self-medicate anymore. So just getting those stories out and showing that, hey, there is another outlet. There's stuff that very much similar to the bond that you had, that you don't have to go try and kill the pain. You can go cause someone else pain and suffer some pain for some jiu-jitsu. But it's just getting the programs out there, getting the knowledge of the programs. My competition gi, I've got a We Defy patch on my competition gi. I've got a Mission 22 patch on my competition gi. I'm preaching. I'm talking to people everywhere I go, and I let them know that, hey, this is good. And any of my veterans the guys I've served with, I talk about jiu-jitsu all the time. They let them know what it's done for me. People I know that are having problems. Hey, why don't you come down and roll with me? Let's just give this a shot. And there's a guy at my work. One of his friends in the office came to me and was like, hey, so he's got a lot of problems. And I went and talked to him. Like, hey man, where do you live? And then I told him I recommended a gym. He went down and tried it. He signed up. He's trying jiu-jitsu now, and it works smiling. He's just happy. He'd never smiled before. So same with the veteran that I was talking about at my gym, George. He didn't show up smiling. He didn't talk to people. He did his thing and he left. Now it's tough to shut him.
No, one of your students, Humberto, he always talked about you, and he said the same thing. It saved his life.
Yeah, and I wholeheartedly believe that jiu-jitsu saved my life, because I love myself way too much to ever even think about suicide. I would never, in my wildest dreams, kill myself. I'd kill other people. Yes. And I think jiu-jitsu stopped me from doing that.
Yes. Yes. No, I feel the same way too. But you have that pent up rage, right?
Yeah, and it's an outlet. I tried different things. Like when I was in Iraq, I did a lot of running. When I wasn't out doing things or on out at other bases and things like that, I ran, and it wasn't satisfying. It was cool. It's killing time, but I'd much rather be doing something where I'm getting actual aggression out. And I see it we have lots of law enforcement officers that train with us, fire department, people that train with us, because the veterans aren't the only ones with PTSD. They see death and mutilation and stuff all the time. Police, they see the same thing. They get shot at, all that stuff. Yeah. So I have members at my gym that they use it that's their happy place. It's where they get rid of their stress. They some of them have fixed relationships because they're not as angry at home anymore. They fixed their career. They turned their career back around and started doing the right thing in their career because they were drinking and doing something else. So it helps a lot of people. It's not just a sport. It's something that's a life-changing event. My professor, Chip Coffey, he started every class talking about I not only think that jiu-jitsu is the best thing on earth, but I know it, and I've proven it because he was in the Navy and he did honor guard, and he did over 1,200, I think, funerals in Arlington. Mm-hmm. That'll destroy you mentally. Yeah. All you do for your career is bury dead veterans. That will destroy you. And he uses it to keep himself sane. And he used jiu-jitsu to save himself. And it's just stories like that just show over and over that it's done nothing but help out people that are in bad situations. I definitely believe that there's nothing like jiu-jitsu. I think not enough people are
are doing jiu-jitsu. And even now we talk about this, and even with the COVID stuff going on, it's a lot of these people that are getting the COVID, statistically speaking, are people that are overweight, hypertension, they're diabetic. So man, if it can get you on the mat and can lose some weight, kind of like your student from Berkeley said, he lost a ton of weight.
Bert's lost a ton of weight. He's I have another guy named Brent who he's a Georgia State Patrol. He lost a lot of weight, got off all medications that he was on for hypertension, things like that. Other people just it saves you. It helps get you to both physically and mentally in a good state.
Mm-hmm. I was interviewing Elijah Young with Pizarro as far as like first responders, and we were talking about this video that was I don't know, man. It was like 3 police officers. They pulled this kid over. The guy, I don't know how he did it. He fought the 3 of them, gets back into his car, takes a gun, and I think he shot 2 of them. And I was thinking, man, if these guys would have only known some jiu-jitsu, some basic jiu-jitsu, that could have been prevented.
I have law enforcement from 3 different offices around the area that I live in, and they're always telling people, hey, you guys need to come train. You guys, this defensive tactic stuff that we do once a year isn't enough. You need to come train to help you learn how to do stuff. And I hand out flyers because I see a lot of police officers or hanging out on their break or something in my parking lot. So I go out there every single time I pull in and hand people flyers. Hey, hang this up the station. We have military law enforcement discounts. Come on in. But it's very vital to not have to escalate to lethal force. Mm-hmm. You can learn to control something.
Yes.
One of my other students, he is works at the state mental hospital. Mm-hmm. He's a doctor at the state mental hospital.
Yeah.
He uses jiu-jitsu in case somebody needs to be held down. In case he has to actually hold someone down. When you roll with him, he's a 300-pound man. When you roll with him, he doesn't do submissions. He starts in a bad position and he gets himself out of it and then controls you. That's what he does. That's what he's in jiu-jitsu for. I trained with on and off since 2010. Mm-hmm. That he was a SWAT officer in Cobb County. He likes to put himself in the worst position. He'll start on his back.
Yeah.
Get on top of me, Brent. No one wants to be on top of them. What are you talking about? Yeah. And he'll start from there and he'll see if he'll try to get out of there.
Now, what about for women?
It can also everyone has traumatic events that happen to them. And it can help with the stress of that as well. The self-defense aspect of it is great. You can learn how to keep people away, help defend yourself. As with anything, you get what you get out of it, what you put into it. Mm-hmm. There's lots of men and women that do it for more of the I want to talk. I want to show that I wear the jiu-jitsu shirt, the jiu-jitsu. You train like one time every 3 weeks.
Exactly.
But if you go in and train, it will help everybody, men, women, children, all that stuff. It helps that self-confidence. I've had many people come into the gyms that I'm working at or training at, and you get this shy guy that can't look you in the eye, head down, talking, they won't shake your hand. 6 months into it, they're getting the head up, looking you in your eyes, like they come in, the shoulder pressure from this lady, like, oh my God, where'd that come from? And so they get that confidence and they get the understanding of their bodies and how to actually to use things. And just like, I mean, just like in the military, I know you were an infantry, so you didn't work with a lot of women. Being in Signal, I had a lot of females and stuff that everyone was the same. You pulled your weight, you did your job. So I try not to, I don't separate a lot of training I don't separate the men and the women in training classes.
Yeah.
We do have one special ladies only class because sometimes just starting out, it's a little bit overwhelming to come into this room with all these sweaty guys and all that stuff. Yeah. But I think that it does build your confidence going out there with somebody of the opposite sex and showing that, hey, look, I can still keep this person off.
And the whole act of a woman is attacked. If she knows jiu-jitsu, I don't care how big you are. Anybody will. If you get choked out, you get choked out. I don't care if you're 350 pounds.
One of my ladies, she was feeling down on herself one day because she was out there and she's in her 30s and she was having some trouble. She's a purple belt. She was having some trouble with these really athletic white belts and blue belts, young guys, real athletic, real strong guys having some trouble. And another black belt friend of mine pulled her aside and was like, don't even think of it that way. Think about those ladies you work with.
Yes.
What if something happened, you ran into one of them in a dark alley and it was you or them?
Exactly.
You will tear through them like that. They will feel like the devil got a hold of them.
Yes.
So it's a trained versus untrained. You will no matter what, be better.
Yeah, and the basic understanding, guys, that if you, let's say you happen to get into a street fight, most of the time, and I've told Elijah before, these people that look for fights in the absolutely no training, they would get beat by a high level blue belt, or let's say a guy that's whatever, a 3-stripe white belt.
And 90% of the time, it's making yourself a harder target. If someone comes up to a lady who's trained and tries to grab them and control, they'll feel that I can't control this lady in like 10, 15 seconds. I'm bailing out. I'm taking off. I'm running. If you grab somebody and they just kind of fall, let them do whatever, they're like, oh, cool, I got this one. And same with a guy. If you're going to be robbing a guy, you're going to grab a guy and grab a hold of him. A jiu-jitsu guy, they're going to fight back. There's some martial arts that do training, but they never actually go to live sparring. Jiu-jitsu and wrestling, you actually know what it's like to try your stuff at full speed. You have felt the pressure, so it's not as overwhelming or shocking the first time you get hit or first time someone grabs a hold of you. You just go instinct. Someone grabs a hold of you, you get that instinct of, I've been training jiu-jitsu, someone grabs a hold of me, I'm getting the better position.
Mm-hmm.
That's what your instincts will lead you to. You drill, you train, you drill, you train, you roll, and you feel it. So when somebody untrained grabs a hold of you, they're in trouble. Mm-hmm. They're gonna like, what the hell did I just do?
Mm-hmm. So how do we talk about, because I've spoken to Elijah, like, I think a lot of times too, people are intimidated by going to a school. How would you tell somebody that is interested in wanting to do jiu-jitsu as far as picking a school? How do you know if you have a good school, or that you're going to a good school?
As someone who's trained literally all around the world, and I've seen the good and the bad in all different schools, I recommend trying as many of them in the local area as you can. See, one of them's going to feel just right for you. Mm-hmm. It may be just something might bother you about the way the instructor talks, mm-hmm. or there may be a bunch of like high-level competitors that use the white belts as cannon fodder. Yeah, you have to get in there and get the feel of it. Try a class out. Try 2 classes out. If you don't feel like that, I don't know. If you have that uneasiness, try another gym out. Mm-hmm. Try a different one. Maybe drive another 20 minutes. Try a different one out. Yeah. There's a lot of gyms in the areas now, so what happens at one gym might not be best for you. I have some people at my gym who've trained at other gyms, and they're just like, it was good. The people were nice, but this feels like a family here. So I do some different things at my gym. I know we have people that travel a pretty good distance to my gym. So before this COVID stuff was going on, every Wednesday night we did a family dinner. So one of the spouses or whatnot, or one of the members would bring in pots of food, and after class we'd all get together and we'd eat together, and just as a family, because it was just that's what I wanted to feel like to people. And there's different concepts of checking other things out in gyms and asking questions, talking to the members, seeing if you have things in common with the members, because there's all walks of life are out there training. Yeah. The way the gym is run, see if they're charging for things like stripes and if they're using it for all money. My gym, I may do it the wrong way, but I do it the way I think is right, or the way I think that's going to be best for me. I don't have contracts at my gym. Mm-hmm. I feel that if I have a contract and I lock people into a contract at my gym, it allows me to be lazy. I can just come in, we're doing an armbar again. Yeah. But we just did those last week. We'll do it again. Mm-hmm. It makes me have to win their membership every month. Mm-hmm. So someone comes in and trains with me, they train for a month, and I show them something new. I change up the training. I add something to the class. We just changed our classes around. We get some more rolling. I typically go from an hour-long class to an hour and a half to try and win the membership. Make sure that they are getting something out of it. They're valued for their money. It makes me have to up my game every single time I come in there because I want to win the membership.
Now, where's your school at? Tell us about your school.
My school is in Dallas, Georgia. We opened up in January this year, and it's a small school right now. We have before the pandemic started, I think we broke into about 50 total members.
Yeah, that's good, man.
But kids and adults, and
that's still good. That's some good numbers.
Yeah, we lost a few. We lost about 10% during the pandemic, and then some people have been paying but still keeping the distance because they maybe have somebody in their family who's high risk or
that makes sense,
or something like that. So they're keeping their distance, but they want to make sure that the gym is still there for them to come back to.
Yeah,
which I respect. And I would have respected whatever they do. I had some people that lost their job, and I'm not going to ask somebody to pay. Luckily, we have very low operating costs, so we were able to survive. And we've opened back up. Monday is going to be our first kids class back. Mm-hmm. So we're going to welcome the kids back with open arms. We bleach everything, floors and ceilings after every single training. We have a couple of those touchless thermometers. We take people's temperatures before they come in the door. We have questionnaires. We have hand sanitizer galore.
Yeah. And guys, in the jiu-jitsu community too, like the most good schools, they're very clean. They're very adamant about not stepping on the mat. Make sure you trim your nails. So that goes a long way too. This whole COVID thing has totally just decimated the food industry. I mean, the jiu-jitsu is gone. Elijah was getting ready to go to Worlds. He was getting ready to do the Pan Ams, and he was getting ready for it, and nothing.
Yeah. I mean, coming up as a wrestler, I've seen all the different mat diseases and stuff like that from people not cleaning. So every gym I've been involved in the last 5-6 years, we prided ourselves to have never had any kind of case of any kind of disease coming from the mats. When I was with Coffee Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it was clean. No one ever got ringworm or anything like that coming from the mats. In my gym, no one's going to get any of that stuff coming from my mat because they will be clean.
Yeah.
One of our other owners is a PA, and she gives us all of our medical advice and tells us, hey, we need to clean with this stuff because it kills this stuff. We'll clean with whatever you want. And we'll clean with this, then spray some bleach down and do that. And then,
So I just want guys to be aware, guys, the good schools, they've been taking precautions even before COVID-19, okay? So if you haven't done it, get back into it because these guys have always been paying attention. You even notice some of the high-level guys, if you have anything in your face, they're like, dude, you can't not train.
Yeah.
So it's always been like that. Not because of COVID-19. We're very aware of things like that because we can't. I mean, what's the worst thing that you can do on a mat as far as like the skin? What's the
ringworm, impetigo? Those are the horrible ones.
What's that flesh eating? Yeah, staph.
You get staph infection from dirty mats, dirty people, open wounds, things like that. It's horrible stuff. And you don't want it. You don't want that. That staph it's devastating. You can lose body parts from that.
Yes. So like I said, the only reason why I say this is for people that are not doing it. We're very self-aware, and the good schools have always been self-aware when it comes to all that stuff. So you're going to train. Obviously, there's going to be a pig pen here. There's always going to be the nasty guy, right? But that's in life, right?
You can get the idea of what the school's like by the culture. If you look around and see people walking around off the mats without shoes or going to the bathroom or the locker rooms without shoes on, that's going to be a pretty gross place to train because they're walking from a bathroom right back onto the mats with whatever they tracked in. I don't care how clean you think your bathroom is. You're walking in possibly someone's urine or other fecal matter and walking onto the mat. Your face is going to be on that mat at some point. You want to make sure that you see people walking from the locker rooms with shoes on to the edge of the mat, step directly on the mat, things like that. Stuff to look for. Just to help you identify some of the schools that have those higher standards of cleanliness.
So there you go, guys. From the man himself, he said it. So that's kind of a hint, right? So if you see that at a school, that's probably not a school that you want to go to, because obviously they're not doing the right thing, What else would you like to push out to the jiu-jitsu community or to the veteran community? I mean, whatever you want to say.
To the veteran community, to the jiu-jitsu community, definitely try to reach out, bring a friend. Most schools will allow a drop in to try a class or two out. If they're not like that, if they want you to pay something or sign up right away, then I mean, you make your own choice on that. It's not really my place to tell you that that's not right or that their business practice is wrong. But that's not the style I like. I like a school. It allows me to feel a lot more like home. If they're going to come try it out, I'll give people a week to try it out. Come to that second week, if they're still trying to come back in and use one of my loaner gis, they're hey, go ahead and sign up. Grab somebody, bring a friend to class, let them try it out, show them. Don't bring them in there and try and beat them up and show them how dominant you are. Bring them in there to show them how fun it is. Jiu-jitsu is fun. It's hard work. I talk about it all the time that people say, oh, jiu-jitsu is for everybody. Jiu-jitsu will benefit everybody, but it's not for everybody. It's hard work. Yeah. Some people are quitters. Some people can't do hard work, and then it's not necessarily for them. There's another sport that might be for them, but it will benefit you if you want to reach down, dig deep, and do the work.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about as far as like, what are your goals for this year as far as like competitions? Are you looking forward? I know you were hurt for a while, right?
So I had a couple competitions early this year, and I had plans to do. We were going to Washington, D.C. We were going to do Dallas. We're going to do, of course, Atlanta, Charlotte, Orlando, and Master Worlds, but all that's on hold right now. I was even looking into maybe Nogi Worlds or Nogi Pans this year.
Yeah.
But it's all on hold right now. It's definitely a different level at black belt competing now. It's a deep pool. And I went to the Austin Open and won my division. Went to the Open division, and the guy I faced in the semifinals got his black belt in 1998. I mean, this guy's been a black belt for 21 years at the time.
Yeah.
It's a deep pool, so it's fun running into that stuff. But you really have to see where your game is, and you get to. It's the true test.
Now, you guys are an affiliate of Traver?
Yes, Team Roberto Traver.
Now, can you tell people about Professor Roberto Traver?
Yeah, Professor Traver is he's a legend in the sport. He's an ADCC openweight division champion. He's a two-time world champion of the gi and IBJJF. He's a veteran of the UFC. He has affiliate gyms all over the country, from as far as Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, all over the place. And we basically own Atlanta as far as the Atlanta Open. We have won that 14 or 15 times, and it's I lose track because it's just such a high number. But we have people come out of his team. He is a very, very humble man. With all those credentials, he can pretty much do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants. But he truly cares about all of his people. I mean, because of the way I do some things, I open my gym to anyone who wants to come train there, and sometimes I cause some problems, and he has to call me up and ask me about questions, and I feel bad that he has to call and check on me, but he cares, and that's an awesome thing to train under somebody who he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do that stuff. He can sit back and collect his money and do what he wants to do because of his name, but he cares about all the people that train with him and train under him, and he wants what's best for everybody. So he's a great example, a great leader, and it's an awesome honor to be part of his team and for him to trust me with. I coach for him as representative of Team Roberto Traver at some of the big tournaments, things like that. He trusts me with that, and that's a big honor to have that trust from him.
So if you guys, like I said, if you want to see what kind of lineage, I guess I could call you Professor
Yes.
Brent Hamilton. If you want to check out a school in Dallas, Georgia, please do. I mean, this is the type of guys that are this is the type of guys that are teaching this beautiful art. They come from the and Kofi too, right? I mean, that's your main.
Chip.
But all these guys, I mean, listen, all these guys are killers.
And Professor Traver, he by the old school way, if you're a competitor, when you get promoted, you're going to be competitive at the next rank. It's been proven to me both at brown belt and at black belt. I was promoted to black belt, and 3 weeks later, the Atlanta Open was going on. And he told me, Brent, sign up. Okay, and then about the week of, he's like, you're doing the Open division too. Professor, what? You've got other black belts that are more experienced and been black belts longer. Like, you'll be fine. You're doing the Open division too. And I went out and I won my division, and I did the Open division. So my first tournament out as a black belt was 3 weeks. I win the division. He teaches people the right way. He's not going to fail you and give you a false sense of security with your belts. Everything you get, you earn under his team. Chip, I got my black belt from Chip. It's the same way. When you get promoted to that next belt, which is the same standard I'm going to hold, if you're a competitor, whatever you're in jiu-jitsu for, I'm going to hold you to that standard. If you're a hobbyist, I'm going to compare you to another hobbyist at your age and your athleticism and what you put into it and how you do against them. When I promote you to a blue belt or a purple belt or a brown belt or whatever, you're going to be as competitive or more than anybody else in the same situation as you if you're an active competitor. When you get promoted from blue belt to purple belt, you're already going to be in the mix at competition as a purple belt. You're not going to be some schools will promote you on potential. Like, you're promoted and now you're a good white belt. Now you're the crappiest blue belt. That's not the way I was taught. I was taught that when you get promoted to blue belt, you're in there in the mix of the blue belts.
Yeah, and not to be so eager of like, when am I going to get the next belt? It's like, just enjoy the process.
Yeah, enjoy it, and when it comes, you'll be ready, and you will be competitive with the guys that are up there.
Okay, so how do they find you on social media?
So I'm on Instagram at Rolling Panda BJJ. Facebook, Rolling Panda BJJ on there's a public and private page, and of course my personal Facebook page, Brent Hamilton, on Facebook. I think I've got a Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it too often, but Instagram and Facebook for both my gym and myself.
So, this is Lawrenceville, Georgia, but we're trying to get everybody in the Atlanta community that, rolls or has a school or has something to say, because I was talking to Brent before the show that it's always like the famous guys that want to talk about, jiu-jitsu, but there's regular guys like Brent, like myself, that we're trying to promote the sport, and just trying to get veterans out there, especially the guys that are having issues, man. Listen, we're doing this out of my man shed. I have my issues. Sometimes I like to be by myself. Okay. And I like building stuff because it takes my mind away, but I do jujitsu too, because like you said, man, I feel so much better afterwards, man.
Yeah.
Even if I'm hurt, I'm like, God, I just feel like I don't know. It's kind of,
there's some days you don't want to be there. You don't want to go to the mat. You don't want to be in your house. You get there, but when you're done, when you finish, when you take off your gi or your rash guard or whatever at the end of the night, you feel good. No matter how bad you felt, no matter what was on your. The cool thing about jiu-jitsu is you have to check out of all your problems. If you're on the mat rolling and you're thinking about, oh man, that report that I did or whatever, my boss, you're getting choked. Mm-hmm. You're getting submitted. Something's happening. You need to check out and leave all the stuff, everything that's messing with your head. Leave it away, and you're 100% jiu-jitsu. It allows your head to be quiet. Mm-hmm. No matter what voices or demons are going on in your head, you take them away and you're in jiu-jitsu, or you're going to get choked out. Yeah. And you learn that once or twice, then you learn to turn everything off and focus on the jiu-jitsu. It allows you to check out of all of your problems.
I think I say that 90% of the time is I really don't want to be here, and then at the end, I'm like, God, I feel so much better.
Yeah, because you forget about your problems. Mm-hmm. I mean, some days when I'm driving to jiu-jitsu, I'm thinking, oh man, I got this stuff, all this work going on, I got this going on, I got these bills to pay. And then when I'm driving home, I'm like, man, that roll was so-and-so was good. I felt good here. I probably could work on this. All those problems I was thinking about didn't exist anymore.
Exactly. And just because you left the military, I mean, you could still be a leader, and you can be an example to other people, especially the veterans, that there's life. I mean, what do you think? I mean, there is life after the military, right? Like Jocko Willing says, you just have a different mission.
Yeah. I told, I was the worst for reenlistment for people, but I told all the soldiers that when they came in, when I was an instructor, when I was at soldiers when I was down on the line, stuff like that, I told people, use the military. Use them for education. Use them for training. They used you. They are using you right now. When they're done with you, their mission is not going to stop. They're going to have somebody else replace it. So you need to set yourself up for the best success when you get out. And it's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. You come in there and you use jiu-jitsu to set your mind up for the best success. You use it to get out all of your aggression, all your rage, all your stuff like that, so you can go on and do good things with your life instead of being in a negative spot.
Okay. All right, so we've hit about an hour. We were talking about what we're going to do about an hour. I'd love to have you back, man.
Anytime.
So we're going to continue to do this, guys, on for the old breed. Continue to have Brent. I think I got another combat veteran tomorrow. One of his students, Berto, he's coming in tomorrow. I think he's Marine Corps Infantry.
Marine Corps Purple Heart recipient.
There you go. So more to come, guys. Like I said, I'm sorry, with Mother's Day, because I was actually supposed to interview Humberto last week, but it was Mother's Day. I forgot.
We all did.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. So we're going to continue to have these guests around, because I think it's important, especially for young men that are looking for something to do. You don't have to be in the military. You don't have to be a veteran. At the end of the day, Brent, like I said, I just want to promote our sport.
And thank you for the opportunity to come on here and tell my story and talk to people about jiu-jitsu and how it's helped me and how it's helped some of my students. And I definitely appreciate the opportunity to spread the love for the art.
All right, guys, that's it. And I guess before I sign off, I know a lot of times, it comes up kind of corny, but I wanted to, hey man, I just wanted to thank you for your service to this amazing country that we have. And as a veteran myself, I met some of the finest warriors that this country's ever produced, and I'm completely humbled to be around men like Brent, That's it, man. I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much for coming in.
That's always one of the toughest things when somebody who hasn't served, thank you, because I never know what to say. I never know what to say, but with someone else who has served and knows what we've gone through and gone through the same things and shared some of the same mud and all that fun stuff, and I know what to say back to that. I can say thank you.
Yeah, and go Army, of course.
Of course, yeah.
All right, guys, for the old breed, we'll see you Brent again, oh God. Okay, thank you so much, and that's it. Goodbye. That was awesome. Thank you so much, man. It came out really good. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Right. That was awesome. We got to do it again.
I know I went off on little tangents on sides.
No, I love it.